Hello students, welcome back. I hope you all are doing well and studying at home. So this is the video of class 9 biology, and this is the video belong to chapter 1, that is cell, fundamental unit of life. And here we are going to revise this chapter by solving some important questions belong to this chapter. So let's just start. So the first question is, who discovered the cell? Now you can pause the video and recall the answer of this question. So this is Robert Hooke, an English scientist who discovered the cell in the year of 1665, and I hope you remember that he discovered the cell by observing the cork under his self-made microscope, and he discovered the cells which were dead, and he saw the tiny boxes like structure in the cork, and he gave the name cell. So Robert Hooke was the first person who discovered the cells which were dead, and he saw the cell under the microscope in the cork of a tree. Now the second question is, who discovered the cytoplasm and nucleus? So can you guess who discovered the cytoplasm and nucleus? So the answer is, the cytoplasm was discovered by the Robert Hooke and nucleus was discovered by the scientist Robert Brown. And these two components of the cells are very important. Cytoplasm is the jelly-like fluid which is found inside the cell between the nuclear membrane and cell membrane, which make a base inside the cell and has so many molecules for the survival of the cell. And nucleus is the control system of the cell which regulate and maintain and manage all the activities, all the metabolic activities of the cell. So these two components of the cells are very important. Now the next question is, which type of cell is found in bacteria and blue-green algae? So do you know which type of cell it is? And you know that the cells are of basically two types, and on the basis of the nucleus, and the bacteria and the blue-green algae are the very primitive kind of organisms, and they have very primitive kind of cells, and these cells are prokaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells are the primitive kind of cells, and the characteristic of and prokaryotic cell, it lacks the well-defined nucleus. This is the characteristic feature of prokaryotic cell. It lacks well-defined nucleus. It doesn't have true nucleus. So the bacteria and the blue-green algae are the very old and primitive kind of organism, and they are made up of primitive kind of cells, old kind of cells, which is prokaryotic cell. Next question is, write down the name of the cell organelles of eukaryotic cells. So on the basis of the nucleus, you know that there are two type of cells, prokaryotic and eukaryotic. We discussed about the prokaryotic cell here, and now we will see the eukaryotic cells. Eukaryotic cells are the cells which have very well developed, well defined nucleus. You can see here, this is the nucleus. It has nuclear membrane, nucleoplasm, chromatin thread, and nucleolus. All the components are present in the eukaryotic cells, and you have to write the name of the organelles which are found in the cell, in the eukaryotic cell. And you know that the eukaryotic cells have lots of membrane bound cell organelles like endoplasmic reticulum, plastids, lysosome, Golgi apparatus, vacuole, mitochondria, ribosome, and centrosome. You can see in this diagram. So all the cell organelles are given in this diagram. This is the Golgi body, mitochondria, centriole, ribosomes, smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Then this is the nucleus, and this is the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So these are the cell organelles which are found in the eukaryotic cells. Now the next question is, what is the main characteristic of prokaryotic cell? The main characteristic of prokaryotic cell is absence of well-defined nucleus and membrane-bound cell organelles. You know that the prokaryotic cells are those cells which are not having well-defined nucleus. They simply have the genetic material floating in the cytoplasm, and they do not have the membrane bound organelles like mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, endoplasmic reticulum. They have only ribosomes, which is the membrane less cell organelle. So they do not have the membrane bound cell organelle, as well as no nucleus is present. Only the genetic material present in the cytoplasm itself, and that is called nucleoid. So this is the characteristic feature of prokaryotic cell. Next question is, you have to write the full form of ATP. ATP is known as the energy currency of the cell. Energy currency of the cell. So you have to write the full form of ATP. Can you guess? So this is adenosine triphosphate. A stands for adenosine, T stands for tri, and P stands for phosphate. Adenosine triphosphate. Next question is, write the name of the cell organelle which synthesis proteins. Okay, you have to write the name of that organelle which is responsible to produce protein in the cell. Do you know? Yes, this is the ribosome. Ribosomes are known as the protein factory of the cell. Protein factory of the cell, because they produce protein. Now the next question is, what are the three major functional regions of the cells? In the cells there are major functional region: cell membrane, nucleus, and cytoplasm. Next question is the cell wall living or dead in the plants? So you know that in the plant cell there is an additional covering. That covering is located externally the cell membrane. Around the cell membrane there are external covering. That external covering are called as cell wall. That is called cell wall. Okay, the plant cell has cell membrane. Okay, and around the cell membrane they have an additional covering, that is called cell wall. That cell wall is dead or living. You have to write which the cell wall is living or dead. Do you know? So the answer is, this is dead. Yes, the cell wall of the plant cell is dead. It doesn't consider as living, it is dead. Next question is chloroplast a non-living structure? So chloroplast is a type of plastid which is called as kitchen of the cell. It is called kitchen of the cell because this is the organelle where the glucose is produced, the food is produced in the plant cell. So is it living or non-living? Can you guess, is it living or non-living? So this is living. The plastid all the kind of plastids including chloroplast, it is living, it behaves like a living component. Now the next question is name the nucleic acids present in the nucleus of an animal cell. So there are two type of nucleic acid, RNA and DNA. RNA is a stand for ribonucleic acid. Nucleic acid, it stands for ribonucleic acid. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay, so out of these two nucleic acid, which nucleic acid is present in the animal cell, you have to write. So just recall the nucleus of the animal cell. You can know that in the nucleus the genetic material, which is known as chromatin thread, it is made up of DNA and histone protein. So the nucleic acid which is present in the animal cell, it is deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA. Next question is which cell organelle releases the energy in the form of ATP? Here in this question, name the nucleic acid present in the nucleus of an animal cell. The deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, as well as the RNA. Both the acids are present in our nucleic acids are present in the animal cells. Both the nucleic acids, DNA as well as RNA, both the nucleic acids are found in the animal cells. Now the next question is which cell organelle releases the energy in the form of ATP. So you know that there is an organelle in our cell which is called powerhouse of the cell. Can you guess which organelle is called as powerhouse of cell? Because it generates energy, hence that organelle is called powerhouse of the cell in the form of ATP. So this is mitochondria. Okay, it looks like that, and it is the mitochondria which are known as the powerhouse of the cell, and they produce energy in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Now the next question is name the chemical molecule which carries the hereditary character from parent to offspring. So you have to write the name of the molecule which transfer the characteristic from parent to the new generation, from parent to the babies. So it is DNA. Okay, it is DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. This is the DNA which is found in the nucleus. Okay, and this is the DNA and protein, both the things together make the chromosome, and that chromosome is present in the nucleus of the cell. So this DNA is responsible to have and pass the characteristic of parent cell to the new cell. Next question is name the organelle which has membrane bound sac filled with powerful digestive enzyme. So can you tell this organelle which is membrane bound sac like a structure, and it contain digestive enzyme. That is called digestive system of the cell. Digestive system of the cell. And one more hint is there, they are also called as suicidal bag of the cell. They are also called as suicidal bag of the cell. So the answer is lysosomes. Lysosomes are the organelles which contain powerful digestive enzyme and help to digest the complex organic molecule into their simpler form. Next question is who coined the word cell and how? So you know that the Robert Hooke was the scientist who termed the cell who coined the term cell. When he firstly observed the cell in cork by his self-developed microscope, these cells were looking box-like compartments, hence Hooke called them cell a tiny room. He saw the cells under his microscope and he found them like a tiny boxes, tiny room like a structure, hence they call the cell, because cell means a tiny room. Next question is, what is the cell theory? So cell theory is very important theory in the biology, which tells about the living organism. And here are the statements. There are total 4 statements present in this theory and given by the two scientists, German scientists, that is Schleden and Swan. They said that all living organisms are made of cells. Irrespective of the type of organism, all the organisms are made up of cells. Secondly, they said that the cell is the structural and functional unit of life. The structure, the body of all the living organism and all the functions, that all are related to the cell. The structure of the any organism is made up of cell, and whatever the functions that take place in the body of organism, ultimately they are taking place in the cell. And all cells arise from pre-existing cells. This is the statement which was given by the another scientist, Rudolf Virchow, and he said that omnis cellula e cellula, it means all cells arise from pre-existing cells. And the fourth statement is that the smallest unit of life is cell. Next question is, what is a cell? Describe its shape and size. So the answer is, cell is the structural and functional unit of life. And if we talk about the shape, the cell shows a wide variation in their shape. The shape of cells are related to the functions they perform. The cells may be spindle shaped, elongated, polygonal, elliptical, discoidal, branched, spherical, etc. The shape of the cell have so many variation. And if we talk about the size of the cell, then size remains constant for a particular cell. It has no relation with the size of an organism, and cells are measured in the unit of micrometer. 1 micrometer is equal to 10 to the power minus 6 meter. If we talk about the smallest cell in the world, that is Mycoplasma gallisepticum, which is a kind of bacteria, and its diameter is 0.1 micrometer. Largest cell is the ostrich egg. It is about 18 centimeter in diameter. Longest cell is the nerve cell, which is found in the human body. Next question is, write down the names of the cell organelles and describe the function of any two. Here in this diagram you can see that nucleus is the cell organelle which stores DNA. Nuclear pores allow mRNA and ribosomes to pass through it. It contains all the hereditary material and it transfers the characteristic from parent to the offspring. Mitochondria is the cell organelle which carry out aerobic respiration to produce energy in the form of ATP. Lysosome contain digestive enzyme, break down the pathogen, old organelle, cell and food molecule. They help in the digestion, intracellular digestion. Ribosomes, this is the site of protein synthesis. Endoplasmic reticulum, they provide a large surface area for protein synthesis. They also synthesize, store and transport lipids and carbohydrates. Golgi apparatus modifies protein, sort, package and transport molecules around a cell. Chloroplast, site of photosynthesis. They produce glucose for the plant. They are known as kitchen of the cell. Cell vacuole maintain the cell structure. and as a temporary energy store. They are the storeroom of the cell. Cell wall provides support and mechanical strength in the plants. So these are the functions of the cell organelles. Next question is, give any 3 point of differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells are generally smaller in size. They have the range of 1 to 10 micrometer, and eukaryotic cells are generally larger. They are in the range of 5 to 100 micrometer. If we talk about the nuclear region, then they are poorly defined. In the prokaryotic cell, the nuclear region is poorly defined due to the absence of nuclear membrane and known as nucleoid. In eukaryotic cell, nuclear region is well defined and surrounded by a nuclear membrane. Third is chromosome is single and they have more than one chromosome. And here the next difference is that prokaryotic cells they do not have membrane bound cell organelles. They are absent. The membrane bound cell organelles are absent in the prokaryotic cells, while in eukaryotic cell, the membrane bound cell organelles such as mitochondria, lysosome, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, etc. They are present in the eukaryotic cell. Now the next question is, draw a neat diagram of a plant cell and label on it chloroplast, Golgi apparatus and nucleus. So this is the plant cell you have to draw, and you have to label the nucleus, chloroplast and Golgi apparatus. So you can see here, this is the chloroplast and this is the nucleus. This is the nucleus and this is the Golgi apparatus. Chloroplast is the kitchen of the cell, synthesize glucose by the process of photosynthesis. Golgi apparatus, they transform the protein and help in transportation, and they also produce lipid. And nucleus, you know that this is the control system of the cell. It regulates and manage all the activity of the cell. So this is the last question we talk about in this video, and this is all. In the next video we will talk about some more new topic. Till then, keep learning. Have a nice day. Thank you.